Welcome to Kevin's podcast.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Real Feel. Welcome back to episode 2. In episode 2, I like to welcome a guest, my first guest ever. I've never had a guest before. I've never had somebody on my podcast. I've been doing this for a while, and this was my aim and goal for years, Phil. And this is Phil. This is a recovering addict, a good, solid, kind man, just on a path to betterness. And it's been a road.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
You know, and what we were talking and what we were saying yesterday, I was asking, I said, "Oh, you're 30 days. You're past what, 30 days
Yeah,
now?"
today's what's today? Today's the 20.
Today's the 20th.
20th, 32 days.
32 days.
Yeah, 32 days, man. And that's from I had to cut people out of my life. The first time it was someone that's a friend of mine. I won't mention, the name, but I had to walk from that. And then there was a second friend. And just recently, earlier this week, I told him, I said, if you want to go for food, bro, we can. But, I've been set free from addiction. Again, I'm going to mention Jesus because he's my everything.
Yeah. Right.
I'm born again. I believe that, Jesus came to the earth, died for my sins, all that good stuff in the Bible. So I'm going to share that openly. But yeah, I just told him, unless it's for food, I can't chill with you no more.
Yeah, you kind of got to put the people, those certain people aside, right? And you can love them from a distance. And I've said this in my videos before. You can love them from a distance. You can care for them and stuff, and do the best you can for them at that, from a distance, right? You can only show your support. But 100%. I've always said you gotta. I've learned it myself. Focusing on yourself, man, and the rest will follow.
100%. Yeah, it's just one of those things I had to do. Like, even if it became that they're like mad or just because
they're going to,
just because you're not eating at my table doesn't mean that I don't want to still say hello. I don't want to be nice. I don't want to have unforgiveness. I don't want to have bitterness, you know, but I have to, I'm taking myself the way I've been created, and I'm destroying myself. I'm destroying the life that I've been gifted, the life that I've been given. And when I give myself over to addiction and substance, I'm destroying who I am and who I've been designed to be, my character and nature and my heart, my soul. I'm destroying all of that. I'm taking myself and I'm putting myself into the ground when I'm supposed to love myself and take care of myself because I believe I have a plan and purpose to be here on the earth. Right.
We're like, when you first, like, I've known you for a bit off and on, right? So when it first started, like when it deeply first, like, kind of said, you know what, like, I'm doing this, you know what I mean? Like, when did it really first
What do you mean,
start?
like sobriety?
So no, sorry, when you started whatever you're, drinking or whatever, when you first started, like, what, when was that? Like, when was the first?
Well, it was just like a weekend thing, like, with friends, like as a teenager,
It's where it normally really starts, right?
100%.
As all of us, right?
Yeah.
Normally it starts.
And then, I just, I grew, older, my 20s, whatever, right? And just, chilling just going with the flow that, most humans by nature do, right? That fallen human nature, I call it a sin nature, right? But, and then it just got away from me. Like, it's like me and you were talking right now, how humans, how people have normal conversation and it gets away from you and you just get addicted to what you're talking about. You get addicted to the flow. I was addicted to, the flow of the bottle. I heard a pretty good quote.
That's a good analogy, man.
Yeah, I heard a pretty good quote, first a man takes the drink, then the drink takes the man,
Yeah, pour me another drink, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I was starting off, and it was like 3 months in, I think it was. But anyways, I heard that people were so truthful with me, and these were real people. I still talk to them, and they're real. And they said that to me, and they even said it in the most nicest way, but the harshest way. They're like, "Do you ever heard that song, pour me another drink?" And I never understood it until they brought it up. I was like, and I listened to the song again, and I go, "No." She goes, "That's you right now." And I go, fuck, it is, you know what I mean? But then it helped me push more to be like, pour me, right?
Yeah, true that.
Yeah. But like, it just trickles, right? Did it just trickle from there? And then when you got older, it just...
Yeah, and it got to the point for me where, I was drinking, 26ers a day, and then it got to the point where I'm waking up afterwards, and I didn't realize, it's like, because alcohol's a neurotoxin, it starts coming out of your nervous system, and you start getting anxious and like having anxiety and stuff, right? So it got to the point where I'd wake up and my heart's pounding, and it's like I didn't know it at first, but eventually it's like I wouldn't even, like, people are like, I'm never drinking again. They do food and water. I'd wake up and I would be booze, and I do that for like 3 days, and, in a row. It's like, no food, no water, just like, the hair of the dog or whatever, right?
You're on your way to the grocery store and you're like, oh, I'm gotta grab this for food. But then you have beer in the back of your head, but when you get there or wherever you're going, you get the booze instead. You're like, no, I need 10 more extra, right?
Yeah, just to feel better.
Just to feel better.
And then the withdrawals on top of that, it's like, once it gets away from you, alcohol is a scary thing, in my opinion, because you don't recognize it until it's already recognized you over and over again.
Yeah, what do you think your deepest part was? And the true addiction part, like when you were really into the addiction part, what do you think the deepest part was?
Not being able to stop, man, and eating it like almost every day, to the point where it's just like the only time I go to sleep was when I'm worn out, partying out type of thing. But like,
like that's a good one.
I was out in British Columbia. I moved out there, and I quit for like 10.5 weeks, and like, bam, just like that, I went and ended up buying 2 Mickeys of Johnny Walker Red Label Scotch. I drank both of them, and I completely blacked right out. And I was like 36 when I did that. You know, so it's like,
didn't you go out there to try to get clean, or what was your aim to, like, at least try something? Or
I suffered loss. Originally, someone that I loved very much died. And I needed to get away from here, and I had a bit of an opportunity. My buddy offered me, a job, and so I went out there. But I took my pain with me, and I wasn't following, after Jesus. I wasn't, living in what I call the path of righteousness, where I believe, there's perfect peace. And so I took myself and my pain with me, man, and I kept drinking. I was just as bad out there. I did get sober, but it was only for a time.
What do you mean by perfect peace? Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, so like, there's a scripture in the Bible. I don't remember exactly where it is, but it says, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your heart and mind in Christ Jesus."
Perfect peace.
So that's where I find that perfect peace. Like, when even just recently, when I got sober, I just was having a hard time. I'm seeking to be found in women and relationships, and I'm just getting hurt and damaged by that, and I just felt so alone. And like the Bible talks about the backslider and stuff like that. You walk away from your faith, you walk away from what and the only time I ever have that perfect fellowship every day in my life, I don't feel alone anymore, because I have the Holy Spirit with me all the time.
Yeah, it takes that one oomph, man, and whatever it is,
and it's perfect peace, man. I sleep good, I wake good, I go to work good, I have a clear mind, and God helps to cleanse. Jesus helps to cleanse my conscience. He wants to help make me do better in life. It goes past the being born again experience, and I'm forgiven, I'm redeemed, the heaven and hell thing, and it's like, now I feel like I have a purpose. I'm not bored at home when I'm at home. I'm reading my Bible, I'm praying, so when you first, like, because I know you tried this like a month ago, right? Or 2 months ago. So what was the difference in between that time and this time? I don't know, I guess just
or what do you think, or feel the difference?
Maybe my choice. Like, I wasn't, I guess I wasn't at the point where I thought that his presence would be enough for me, where I needed something else. And if I believe that he's the creator.
Because you were there once before too, right? Yeah. So you're always thought, they're probably same with me, right? Because I've been doing this for a while. And like, I always thought there was something else that I should be going after, but then it just led you back. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay, brother.
Same thing. Yeah, no, it brought you back to. So the difference would be, it continued, like the difference.
I only have so much will within myself. Kudos to the people who are sober and just pour themselves into like the working out lifestyle and all that stuff. But I don't know. In my opinion, eventually you come to the end of self, and then what more is there, outside of that? And when I read my Bible and I have fellowship with the Holy Spirit, man, that gives me a purpose for living, because I can look at people and and the same love that God has for me, I want to have for them, and sharing my faith. And if they reject it, that's up to them. But that that gives me a purpose for wanting to be alive, just outside of I have to stop doing this to myself. What else is there for myself, right? And Jesus gives me that oomph. Every day.
You can only get so far too. It's weird how people have their times with it, and once you're caught up in it, I feel that you have to go through it. I mean, whoever is going through it, and you're already there. So it's not like you already know what you've been doing before. You're already here. So now you lost all of this. Now you're here. So it's like getting to that extra oomph, as like you're saying, right?
You come to you come to a point, even sobriety. It's like, like what now? Like you're doing good. You're doing this. You're doing that. But it's like, what now?
What now?
And I just felt hopeless. I felt, like I'm addiction, the addiction's not taken over anymore, but now I just feel like, I want something more to do. I want, what's the reason for me to be here? And I feel that, with Jesus, I have a reason to be here.
Yeah. And people finding your higher power, man, whatever it is finding that higher power. I believe in Jesus myself. I've said this to him before. I'm not fully into it like he is, and I respect how he does it, because look where it got him, or look where it's getting him. Because when I was talking to Phil before about this, he's done this, probably multiple times, right? And then even and even in the past, you're doing it, and then all of a sudden, I even said to him, I said, I know you don't have things to do right now, or it's hard to find that one thing, but whatever your higher power is, look for that first. Right? Look for that path first, and then you'll be able to, because if you're jumping right ahead, like you were saying, you're trying to find your purpose, you're trying to look for this in girls and wherever, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, no, you've been saying my name and calling me for the past, whoever your higher power is has been calling you, right? Yours is Jesus and stuff, right? 100%. And it called you in, and you took that chance and you said no. And then once you take that leap, it goes from there. Right?
Like man, it goes, a sober lifestyle is good, and it goes beyond that for me. I want to share my faith. I want people to know, who Jesus is. They can have forgiveness of their sins. And I know I mentioned this a lot, but it really is the core. Christianity, to me, it's not just a religion. It's not a church. It's not a building.
It's not all about that.
It's being born again, having God's Spirit come and live inside you, knowing you're forgiven, knowing that there's a purpose for your life, knowing that, when you die, you will go to heaven. There's hard to mention hell, because people believe we live in that now, but
right, we're already in it.
On the spiritual side of it. I believe hell's a real place too. But anyways, it's just, like that's the core. I feel like that's the core of who I am. I don't feel alone anymore. I don't feel like I don't have a purpose anymore. I can smile every day. I don't feel miserable. There going to be times, 100%. Even the Bible says, there's a time and season, for everything. A time for this. I believe it's Ecclesiastes. A time for this. A time for that.
Right.
So as much as you're going to be happy, sometimes you're going to be sad. There's going to be good. There's going to be bad. Whatever,
100%, right? Man. But if you're finding your balance with it, again, it's finding that. And not everybody. This is the whole goal, is because not everybody understands how to do it, what to do, even going my way or whoever's way, however they're doing it, right? Not even just dividing. I'm just saying, whoever your higher power is leading you, right?
100%.
And trying to explain to people of how you're getting there. So how can I ask this? So it would be, so I know how, how do I say this? I know how I kind of where I am today. Obviously it's not perfect where, my recovery and whatever, right?
Perfect for any of us.
But so maybe explain how did it, I know we've said how you got to that spot and wherever you fell off and you found Jesus again, but how did you oh my God, really truly go, okay, this is the day, what clicked in your head? What literally just went click?
Well,
exactly click.
The presence of the Holy Spirit in my life, 100%. But I just, my point of,
and how did it? So that's kind of my question.
Just thinking about the people I was hanging out with, and thinking about, I got to 19 days, I got to this many days. Oh,
that's okay. I can edit that out.
Okay.
We're good. Had a little mess up there.
It's all good.
So what was your first, your thought? Is that what I was basically saying? What was your first how did you get
I just kept doing it, like over and over and over again, like, the same people hanging out with, and the same thing keeps happening, and and
just thinking about the people and thinking about
with the addiction, like the people I go chill with when I'm drinking, and it just kept happening, and I think something different's going to happen, and it's not going to happen, unless I made it happen, right?
So wanting something different, basically. You're saying, right?
I got exhausted by the garbage cycle of nothingness, the cycle that, I try to have the motto now: if it's not going to help me grow in my life, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. And if that means you're a person who's my friend, you are not my enemy, you become my acquaintance, because where I'm going, if you don't want to go there, I'm the person who wants to take, who needs to take, who has to take myself there, because I'm a man. Nobody's going to do it for me. I got to do it for myself. And I got exhausted by that. And then this whole thing, me wanting to live, I was so much a person, a lot of us are, we go off of what we feel. I was chasing the feel of the drunkenness. I was chasing the feel of the sex,
the numbness,
you know what I mean? I was just chasing the feeling,
just the feeling
and
of it,
I got tired of that feeling. I got tired of it. I just came to the point, I don't want this crap no more. And I know what I need to do. I know who I need to become. I know who to turn to. And and he was there waiting. I felt so lonely and just so broken and lost. I started crying. I said, I feel so lonely in my life.
Right.
And then bang, within a day, man, he's right there.
Because I mean, again, whatever it is, they're waiting for you just to speak out. Like we all have even just a spirit. We all have something that's around us, and we all know, we feel it. Right. We all feel it. There's a lot of people that ignore it. But once you're answer to it, that one that's actually speaking to you, the one that's actually digging down deep into things like this and things that I've gone through, and you answer to it. I said it in my video before. I said, and I said it to you on the way here, just speak out loud, talk to, and genuinely mean it with intent to say, no, this is it. It's not going to be easy, but I promise you it's going to be a guidance. And if it is Jesus, please go to it. If it is your spirits of Holy Spirits or whatever, please go to it, right? And then, I mean, the Bible, I will preach onto the Bible. I will say this: read the Bible, read the scriptures, read the wording, because you don't have to use it in the sense of how everybody else uses it. You can use it in your guidance way, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like that people can use it and how they want to use it in their guidance, right? Because that Bible is there to guide you, even though you're not like fully with Jesus or like understanding what Jesus or God is. You at least read the Bible to understand that.
That'll help you to understand the purpose of the Father, the purpose of the Son, the purpose of the Holy Spirit,
and it will be in your life the next day.
But it'll also help you to understand Adam and Eve were created in the Garden of Eden, and you know what I mean? Then they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And that's what brought forth sin, and sin causes death, and then hell, but Jesus came to set us free from all that. So it'll help you to understand, why am I here? What am I put on this earth for? Like it shows you, morals. It shows you how to act, how not to act, what to give yourself to, what not to give yourself to. So even if you didn't become born again, it's a good guide for your life to do well, 100%. To be on a good path instead of a bad one. You know what I mean? So I'm not even, and you know it, I'm not, and I say it here, I said I don't go to church every Sunday. You don't have to go to, you don't have to go to church to be born again, but it's good to be around like-minded
It's good
people.
To be like-minded. No, 100%. That's perfect to say. Be around like-minded people and understand if you want to understand the scriptures, even just read a verse. Like what I did, I'm not fully into it, but I literally heard somebody say that. Hold the Bible, ask for an answer. I want an answer today. Hold the Bible and say that to the Bible, and then flip through it, go and just let go of a page and read that. And it's like 100% guaranteed that's going to be towards your life. It may not be for that second, you may not understand it that second, but it's going to be towards your life when you do that. And if you don't believe me, then do it. But you have to have intent. You cannot just, someone today can be like, okay, fine, whatever, I'm going to go pick up a Bible and just do it. But with no real intent, they're not going to understand the reading of what came to them. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
So people, you have to go with intent. What he's saying is that he had a will and he wanted to do it. He thought about it. He thought about what was ruining his life. He thought about what was holding him back. And then he just took that step towards what his higher power is, and that's what, you know, that's the preach.
Mhm.
That's what you're supposed to be. We should be putting out, you know. Same with, I don't care what anybody says. Same with Charlie Kirk, man.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah. That's
he
sad what happened to him.
100%, man. Now, obviously, we don't have to go fucking deep into it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the human aspect of it, to what his goal was, is exactly what. And it's weird because he had people that started to understand that wasn't into Jesus.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even those people understood what he was saying, but they still weren't full-time with it, but they were there. They were present, like you would say, right? They were present in their spirit, of their soul, of who they are.
Yeah.
And he sees you, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? So he's gonna, you know, that's what he was about. And that's what Phil's, you know, basically trying. It did kind of go into it because that's what he was about. And that's what you were trying to say, right? Yeah. And it's not about pushing it on people. It's about making them, or not making them, helping them be aware of themselves, of, you know.
Yeah, we have a free will. We can choose to believe or not believe. You know what I mean? But God made the available option for us to be able to believe, you know, that there is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Jesus said that either he's telling the truth or he's a liar. Right. And the men who gave account of that, eyewitness accounts, you know what I mean? The apostles, all four of the disciples, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I believe most of them died, were crucified. So I don't know. It'd be pretty silly to die for a lie.
Right.
But, you know, it's just, you know, to me, it's a better way of life, you know, and it gives me more purpose, but it keeps me free from the garbage that tries to ensnare me.
Well, it comes from a real person that's been through it too. It's not even just coming from a suit and tie, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's
ever worn any of those,
right. So that's a good thing too, because even just with me, with my presentation and how my image and stuff, people say like, well, that's, maybe people need that, right? Because they need that younger look or whatever, just a regular person that's speaking the truth, that's going to get that regular person to listen, right?
100%.
It's not about, you know, the suit and tie people downtown that gather around for one day. You know,
the real feel.
Yeah, man, 100%, bro. Exactly what, exactly what it is, man. And even just my scenery today, people, is the real feel. And I mean, like, it's like one of those, I don't have anything perfect right now. It's not about that, y'all. Find a spot, whatever you're doing in life, you know, find what it is and go for it. Like, Phil's not perfect. He's still going to obviously struggle, right? You're going to struggle through, you're going to make mistakes along the way, but that's the whole point.
Yeah. Learning, you know,
and learning it along the way. So what do you think, like, so your goal is to, you know, obviously
my goal is to stay on the straight and narrow. My goal is, Jesus said, the path to righteousness is, or the path to life is narrow, and it is difficult, and there are few who find it. So I want to be one of the few who find that, and I want to stay on it. You know, if you're walking through hell, don't stop and look. Keep on going. You know, keep on walking. You know, I want to stay on that path, man. I want to stay close with, you know, Jesus. I want to stay in communion with the Holy Spirit. I want to keep my eyes on Him and keep reading the Bible, and that's going to point me into the direction that, you know, I need to keep going. It's going to help me to stay sober, because I'm not just going to get sober because I recognize that it's destroying my body and my life. I'm getting sober because, you know, I'm back on fire for the Lord, and He's giving me a direction to go in. He's giving me a reason to live, and it's outside of myself. If I'm just focused on myself all the time, I'm going to be one miserable
100%, man. That's why you got to look outside. Yeah, outside the box, man. Like,
you know, so my purpose now is just keeping my eyes on Him, and, you know, I want to stay on that straight and narrow, and I want to stay sober. It says in the book of Proverbs, wine is a mocker, and strong drink is a brawler, and he who is led by it, or led astray by it, is not wise. It's talking about how alcohol causes fighting, and it's mockery, and that's, I believe Solomon wrote that, and that's, like, you know, that's over 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? You know, so it's like there's so many good guidance things in there, man, when it comes to that. You know, it doesn't talk about other things, you know, that have to do with addiction that people struggle with, you know.
So why did he drink?
Stuff, right?
Why was everybody, why Jesus drank wine? Like, why do people say that? Like,
I don't know if it was alcoholic wine. You know what I mean? If he came to earth and lived a sinless life, you know what I mean, then that's what gave him the authority over sin. You know what I mean? Over death, over hell, over, you know. I personally highly doubt that it was alcohol.
I think people use that as an excuse. Obviously, some people use an excuse because, you know, I did too. I was like, yeah, Jesus drank. My mom drank wine. Like, why can't I drink wine? You know, why can't I? Wine was my last bit there. It was the last bit of my devilness. I drank a lot of wine because my mom was drinking at the time.
Yeah,
she does now because of her health issues or whatever. But at the time she had boxes of wine, like, and I was filling up liters of, like, and I was going out to the park at 11 o'clock in the afternoon, you know, drinking and stuff. And it definitely is. It's cool. People are like, oh, I'm good because I drank on Saturday. I'm good on this day. I'm fine. But then, oh, I'm fine because I drank. I only have a couple beers after work. It's like, but do you though? You know what I mean? Like, do you have that couple beers after work? But I mean, the point is that it's getting to, it's not easy, man. It's not going to be easy trying to find your path, trying to find, to get off your devil, man. Whatever the fucking devil is that's holding you back.
To me, it's a spirit of addiction that definitely comes from Satan, you know. And when Jesus died, he has power over all dominion, principalities, demons, everything. He has power over it. And the same spirit that rose Jesus Christ from the dead lives in me and quickens my mortal body. So whom the Son sets free is free indeed. So I believe I am free. And I'm going to continue to live that way because I've been given the authority and the power over it because he died to give me that. So I'm going to claim it and I'm going to walk in it. I'm going to do the best I can, even if I have to walk alone. I know that I'm never alone. I feel like I have fellowship with God every day in my life. I'm happy. You know, I feel like I'm on a path. And if it's going to get difficult, oh well. I've already been through so much garbage in my life that it just doesn't faze me anymore.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Right? Hey, man, you had a different thought than what it was a month and a half ago or so. Like, your thoughts and your because it's going to take that, bro. I fell off 3 times before I fully got to where I am today, right?
Off,
like,
I don't even know how many.
No, I meant like to where I am today. Like when I first started fully wanted to get clean was like I fell back 3 weeks later. 2 weeks later. 3 weeks later, right? And then when I was saying that stuff too, I was like, no, like I see where he's at right now. Like I know. And it's like I'm never trying to be like, no, but I'm here. Right? It's about no, like I know what you're going through right now. I know how you're feeling. I know what, but once you find, again, it's still a day by day process, right? But if you have whatever it, again, I say whatever because whatever it is, whatever is helping you guide and push towards you want to do, follow it. Read the scriptures, go to church, go, I don't know, like whatever it is. Like we can sit here all day and explain a whole bunch of things but his is an interesting path because I remember when I first was talking to you, you really didn't know what to do, right? Like it's you were like
trying to follow just
again, you were
myself.
You were just trying to follow that one thing. I know what I'm doing type. I can do this. Oh yeah, bro. I know. And I seen it and I was like, okay, maybe if he gets this just past that little oomph, like we sang, right? You'll get there. And once you get past that, and I even said, you may even fall off one more time, right? I may even fall off one more time, right? It just, you never know, right? But the point is that once you get past that and once you find that, it's still a process, but you're like peace. Right. You're finding that peace of mind where you're like, oh, I don't have to, like you said, I've been through enough. Like that was nothing. Right. So, you know, and your goal is just to find yourself basically, right? Find yourself again and really try to find your purpose, as you were saying.
The more I find the one who created me for purpose, you know what I mean? That's, you know, when I'm going to find myself, when I'm going to find, you know, what purpose that is. You know, I believe that. And, you know, I believe that I'm meant to, whether it's accepted or rejected, you know, that's not on me. I have my own free will and I have my own self that I need to deal with when it comes to that. But my message now is going to be spreading the good news of the gospel that Jesus came to die for every single one of us. That's what I'm going to live for now. And, you know, it's not always going to be easy, and will I be rejected? 100%.
I mean, nowadays, what else have we got left, bro? Our world is falling down.
Oh yeah, it's falling apart because sin, man. Sin came into the world. It has caused destruction to all of creation.
And now us white people are going after each other. It's not about the whites, or not about the blacks and the natives and going after each other. It's about now they got us going after each other. And now this happened, as we all know it, as we were already talking about it. That happened. And then now it's like, really, now we need people to get it, like to understand whatever happened, right? We're, again, not going too deep. We all have our thoughts and shit on it, right? Yeah. You know, he got eliminated. Let's just say that, right? He got eliminated for a fucking reason. And it's the reason being is because we need to change. And truth needs to happen. Yeah. And I'm not even against, and again, me personally, when with drinking and stuff, I don't want people to think like, oh, you think you're better because you don't drink and stuff. Like, I don't even judge you. I don't even care if you do, as long as it's not ruining better than anyone else. As long as it's not ruining my life and fucking up my shit. As long as it's not screwing up my vibe and the people around me, I'm good to go. I don't care, right? And I've said it. I play pool, man. I go to the lounge. People, there's 50-50 around me. There's recovering addicts and there's people that drink. There's people that get smashed. There's people that don't, right? But it's the fact of finding your place and finding where your spot is and truly finding your power, the strength of it, right? Now, I'm not saying go out to a bar and I'm not saying go out and fucking play pool or whatever. I'm just saying for me,
that's your thing.
Right. And it's they're out there. So it's not a judgment to you know, whoever's drinking or whatever. And but was it just drinking, or did you do drugs, or
I dabbled in, I dabbled in you know, some, you know, cocaine.
Yeah, but it wasn't like anything.
It just gave me like really, really bad anxiety, like, you know, I didn't want to induce, you know, and then like, but alcohol.
So it wasn't your DOC, as I'm trying to say, right?
It was alcohol, man.
It was alcohol straight.
But it was like, and that's the thing too, right? Like, alcohol's a downer, but you know, it definitely, when it's coming out of your system, it's causing anxiety.
Oh, buddy, it's worse.
Anxiety, right?
I told you, it's worse. It's dry drunk too. I was trying to explain to you too. There's that dry drunk.
It's craziness, man. The withdrawals from alcohol is like,
it's worse, man.
And then you drink, and then when you're drinking to make it better, really, you know, in the long run, it isn't, but you feel like it is. And that's where the cycle of addiction continues, because this is how I'm going to feel better. This is how I'm going to feel good. I don't need food and water when I wake up. I got some 10% beers beside me and chug, and then it carries on. Well, where is it leading you? It's not leading you anywhere.
And as an alcoholic,
taking your sleep, taking your health, it's taking your money, it's taking everything from you.
Yeah,
everything. The thief does not come but to steal, kill, and destroy. That's what Jesus said about the devil.
Yeah, it's coming to take everything from you, right?
Steal, kill, and destroy. So, you know,
I mean, people, you know, there's people out there that are going to party and have their fun and stuff. And again,
that's up to them. But if it starts ruining your life,
if it starts ruining, this is what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. If it starts ruining your fucking life and you start ruining your path and your spirit path, whatever, you know, it is, that's when it's going to really, and that's what I'm preaching. That's what I've been trying to push. And that's what I've been trying to say. And that's always going to be for the people that want it, man. It's 100%. Not going, and again, no judgment to the people that don't want it. You may not want it right now. You may not want it tomorrow. You may not want it 2 years from now. But I know that eventually that you're going to listen to that next person that's going to eventually, you know what I mean? That's listen to us. And it's a trickle effect, man. I've always said I believe in that warm-heartedly, bro. I really, truly believe that if you push enough, and you push that domino, you know. I heard this yesterday. I said it to Buddy, we're talking, and he goes, or 2 days ago, he goes about the dominoes. I said, it's a domino effect. I said, you got to push that first domino. The rest aren't going to fall until you push that first one. You know what he said? He goes, yeah, but who sets up the dominoes? I go, fuck, you're right. I said, that's perfect, because you're right. You have to set up your life of steps.
Yeah, man.
Your plan and what your path is or whatever. Yeah. And then you start the effect, right? And I was like, holy shit, he's right. I never looked at it that way.
I got to the point where it's like I was pushing past, there's like a point of return and a point of no return. And it's like I knew what to do, but I just kept not doing it, kept ignoring it, kept not, you know, it's like, it came to the point where it's like, you know, I need to like slap my own self or something. And it was just unnecessary. It become unnecessary, and just, you know, it's like, what am I doing? But then, you know, you're hanging out with certain people, you know, you want to be accepted, you want to have, you know, a crowd or friends or whatever. But then, you get to that point too, where
you think it's okay in the moment,
where you don't want that anymore, but then you don't want to be alone. And that's where the whole born again thing comes in for me, man. You know, I don't feel alone anymore. I don't feel miserable anymore. I don't feel purposeless anymore. I don't feel lost in my life anymore.
Well, because you found a purpose. You found a way to go, at least a guidance. You found the guidance again, right?
you know. But again, when I think about it, it's just going to take a step at a time, like, you know, living situation, and, you know, will I drive again, and, you know, blah blah blah. But it's got to be one thing at a time. If I start thinking too much into the future, which I have no control over,
none,
then I'm going to be afraid.
100%. I know fear. You know, start to throw it at exactly.
You know,
man.
Fear: face everything and rise, or forget everything and run. You know.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, that's what that does for me too. And I'm learning, again, that's why I like having these conversations, because it helps me learn too, and helps me see myself, because I do that all the time, because building what I'm building, I have so much talents and so much things to do, and I want to do this and I want to do that. It's really following and trusting your, again, higher powers, your guts, your whatever, right? Jesus, whoever it is, like trusting that. And really truly putting the intent in and trusting it, and I promise you that it will guide you. And it's not going to be your perfect guide. It's not going to be. They're going to show you things that you're like, that you have to learn from. They're going to show you things like, no, I'm going to test you, right? It's going to have to test you along the way. So all these things that I'm trying to do, 100%. It's really trying to hold me back. All these things that are happening that have held me back multiple times before are coming back now, or still happening.
Yeah, there's seasons. There's seasons in your life, right?
Yeah.
Seasons, and you're going to be tested by this, that, whether you're a believer or you're an unbeliever, you're alive on the earth.
It's gonna happen.
You're going to be tested by this life. You know,
the more you ignore it, the more it's going to happen. Well, it's always going to happen, but the more you ignore it, I don't know how to say it that way. So the more you ignore it, the worse it's going to get. When you start to own up to it, you know, I got this going on in my life, this, and it's causing a problem. It starts to break apart as you go too, right? And if you don't pay attention to it, then you just, whatever. It's just going to get worse and worse, and you're going to go down and down and down. You're going to lose your health. You're going to lose your sleep. You're going to lose your money. And you're just, you know, this is me personally, but like, if you don't own up to it and you don't do something about it, it's going to do something about you. 100%. That's what's going to happen. It's going to take care of you, and 100%. And in so many ways that that again, people ignore it. They say, oh yeah, whatever, that's happening. But then there's that one point in your life, or one point in your day or month or whatever, and and you notice it, you see it, you know it, you go, yeah, but I know why that happened, because of this. That's the moment where you go, okay, if I just start breaking it away piece by piece. 100%. If I just start breaking that piece off first, you don't even have to do it all at once. Like you say, doing it all at once. If you keep taking your dirt and you keep pushing it under the carpet, guess what? It's all going to be there. You lift the carpet up. You didn't deal with the dirt. You got rid of it so you couldn't see it, but it's still there. You got to get rid of it. You got to throw it out, but you can't just, it's almost like irresponsibility. And it takes tools to do that. You know? It takes the broom, it takes the sweeper, 100%. It takes everything, and then it takes you lifting it, it takes you putting it. So it takes the work, right? They're good analogies, man. Because you have to be responsible, you know? 100%. Oh, I'm just going to brush this off. I'm just going to brush that off, but it's not going to go anywhere because you're not dealing with it. And then it's just going to come right back around again and again. And if you don't make the choice to change in your life, nothing's going to happen. You have to do it. I believe what I believe because it gives me a greater purpose to live for, and that's what I need for me, for myself, outside of, you know, being sober. I feel like I have a purpose now, but I don't want to brush things off. Like I used to get hammered, and I'd wake up the next day, especially like recently, like before the 32 days, right? And I'd wake up, I don't want to brush my teeth. To hell with it. I don't care about my teeth. Oh, I have to do laundry. Nope, I'm not doing it. This, and that's what addiction does too. You lose sight of everything else in your life because you're just focused on this one thing that is destroying you, but you're not dealing with it. But at the same time, if you don't know how, like I didn't. No, he didn't know how. I didn't know how. And then still to this day, to this second, to this minute, to whatever, we still don't know. Right? We just following, and you're following your beliefs, you're following your purpose, you're following what you believe is your purpose, I guess, right? Yes. And you're following the path, right? And that's what it's all about, man. And really, truly, if you're going the opposite way, you're going to get taught a lesson, and you're not going to like it. It's going to be karma, whoever it is going to get you. And you can, like you said, if you don't learn from it, and this again, it will keep happening. It's not going to stop. Like it's not going to. And if you miss the wave of change, it's going to. Okay, fine. We're going to set you back again, and then we're going to teach you again. And if you miss the wave of change, then it's going to keep doing it. Your time is going to come, but don't miss your opportunity. Don't miss the opportunity, because it's on you. If it comes, it's on you. And then piece by piece, don't murder yourself. Yeah. And don't hurt yourself in the process of or stressing yourself while doing it.
What I mean
just
by murder yourself
piece.
is don't take away your own opportunity in life to be better, to get out of the garbage and the crap cycle.
Don't kill yourself
that
out.
wants to just drive you into the ground and keep you there, because that's what will happen.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to change. And for me personally, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't do it on my own. So I cried out to Christ, because I believe that he made that sacrifice for me so that I can not just be
100%.
forgiven of my sins,
100%.
but I can have newness of life both here and when I die.
But
going
he killed
into
himself
eternity.
around a bunch of people, man.
Yeah.
No one's ever done that in history.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you know what I mean, if it's a belief, if it's as true as it is, if you know he did that in front of people,
either telling the truth or he was a liar.
Or, one of the two.
Yeah.
And no matter what he did, he was going to be told otherwise. It didn't matter what he did; he was going to be told otherwise. So he proved a point, or tried to prove a point, or whatever he was doing.
To the point where they killed him, but not even death could hold him down, because he rose again from the dead.
Yeah, and then he showed, and he did it in front of people, man. He showed
eyewitness
people.
accounts, right?
Yeah, and not everybody in that crowd probably was on board, but I know a lot of those people.
They still saw it.
Right. But a lot of those people were on board, and that's what trickled into that.
There's the ones that are naysayers, and then there's the one that are sayers.
The sayers,
right?
Yeah.
Tipping the scale, whatever way, but nonetheless, it's
Yeah, fine. Yeah, man. Again, it's
finding your purpose, man. That's for me. Taking away anything, from this, Kevin having me here. I'm very thankful to be able to share my story and, share my faith.
Yeah.
Thank you for, allowing me. But yeah, it's, finding your purpose outside of, a destructive lifestyle, man. That's what it boils down to, because, from that, you can set up your dominoes.
That's it, man.
Right?
And that was a fuck, man. That one hit.
That's a good analogy.
100%, man. And
I like that.
And I think I'm the smartest person in the world until I start bringing on people on and conversating with them. And really, truly, that's my purpose, is what I feel is, because I love talking, right? 100%. But I also am learning. Yeah. I'm going to learn from this, knowing that how to work on to the next one. Yeah. I may get that's my goal, right? And I really want to give the real feel, and I really want people to understand it from a different perspective. Yeah. Their perspective
needs to be raw and real, right?
And people are there. Yeah. And again, you may not be on his page, but you may understand something what he just said. Mm-hmm. You may not be on my page, but there might be something that I said that you go, oh, I could use that.
Something might click for a bit,
right? And it may not. You may have already clicked off right now, or you may not have, right? And it doesn't matter. It's the fact of is the trickle effect. I will always say that domino effect, but again, you got to set up your dominoes. You gotta have a focus on something.
Yeah.
Something. Yep. Passion, a goal, whatever it is, the small goals, like we were just saying, the pieces you tear apart, that one step at a time, and eventually you'll get to a spot like he has. Again, we're not fully there yet, but you'll get to a spot and you'll go, oh, I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. So if I just keep doing this, then this will not stay away from you, but it will be better to balance and better to like maintain, I guess, and maintenance your life, right? Into it, I guess.
100%, man.
So yeah, man. And that's what good conversations are. I mean, to put it out there, man, for people to really, I guess, yeah. I don't even know what the hell my goal is, man. You know what I mean? Like, I do, but I mean,
you're in my opinion, you're spreading awareness of how good life can be outside of addiction, man, because you've been there, I've been there. There's people who aren't there. Mm-hmm. Like I think I was saying it to you on Messenger a bit ago, we're at the top of the stairs, so to speak. And it's like, there's other people, maybe they don't know how to walk. Maybe they don't know how to speak. So man, we have to be the type of people that come down to the bottom of the stairs and carry them if we have to.
Not even walk. They don't even know how to speak.
Yeah. So
they don't even know how to say, I can't get up. Like, they can't even speak that right now.
You're going to be that person that says, oh, well, leave them right where they are. Who cares? And just keep walking away from them when they need help? Or you're going to go back down there and you're going to say, listen, I've been where you are. I have sympathy for you. Mm-hmm. Maybe not empathy. That's one thing, apparently, because people would say Charlie Kirk, he gave a quote where he's not about empathy. He said, I think sympathy is more proper, because when you have empathy, you're saying you feel what they feel instead of I feel for you. How can you feel what somebody else feels? You can't. But you can feel for them, and that's why he said sympathy instead of empathy. Because there's a lot of people that got mad with the fact that he wasn't for empathy. But when I read that, I totally understand. Like, you don't know how I feel. You can feel for me that I'm feeling this way.
Right.
But, I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with empathy.
No, but I'm
say,
understanding that. I guess, sympathy is, right.
You're sympathetic for them. You may not feel, but you can tell there's something going on. But you have that sympathy. You want to help them.
But empathetic people. I mean, empathetic. The word isn't that's deeper than sympathetic, isn't it?
I guess it could be,
right, because it is a feeling, right? And sympathetic is what is it? Is sympathetic is what is
oh man, this is where I'm going to be stumped.
No, but
so sympathy is like, I feel for you. I feel for you type of thing, right?
So it's like I'm feeling for So like I feel for you because you don't have that hot dog, right? So I want to give you this hot dog, right? But the empathy feeling is like, oh, I can feel your stomach. I know that I can feel that the anger is that your pot just broke at home and you couldn't cook. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah. So there is a stronger. So what I'm trying to say, because I'm not going against what you're saying. What I'm trying to say is that empathy, I get where he's coming from, because it is a stronger feeling, and we don't always know how someone's feeling, right? We can try our best to like connect with it as an empathetic person. But then also be sympathetic. Right? 100%. Feel what they're feeling, but also feel for them and do something about it. Right? Talk about it with them, or talk about it out like this, or talk about it however, right? Feel how you're feeling. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Because, like, oh man, I get what he's saying. Because he's obviously empathetic, but he's saying I'm not, like, I want to be more sympathetic. I want to, be for you, not just always say, oh, I feel your gut, or I feel how you're feeling, right? I want to be for you. I want to show up to the schools. I want to show up to this event.
I feel for how you're feeling, but I may not know
exactly how you're feeling,
or I might not feel the feeling that you're feeling, but I feel for that feeling.
Feeling. Right. So you can still have the empathy. Obviously, empathetic is a really strong spiritual feeling too, 100%. Right? But again, that's a good way to put it. I never looked at it I never looked at these things this way, man. Like, I never thought about it. Like, I know their words are there, but I never looked at it that way. I go, like, you know what I mean? It's not throwing me off, because clearly I'm an empathetic person, right? So it's not going to throw me off to who I am or what I am about. But I'm also going to look at it the other way too, because it's going to help me understand what empathetic is, and what I'm really trying to fully do is to feel for you. So that's what's going to help me help you, is to feel for you, right? Like, to really truly dig deep into you and ask you what you want, and asking what they're looking for, right? Tell me what you're feeling, right? So I can understand it, right? I guess that makes more sense. Fuck. That's crazy. I never really thought about it that way. But yeah, he was that guy, man. And that's good to, and even the people that hated him too liked him, right? In between.
I didn't know too much about him, but
I didn't know fully.
Started to look into it after somebody at work told me, they shot Charlie. Somebody shot Charlie Kirk. I'm like, who's that? And I wonder if that guy's a believer, and he definitely was.
No, bro, yeah, 100%, man. That's exactly why he was, he was taken out by whoever the fuck, right?
Probably because of his political stance and his spiritual stance.
I think it was more, the political was there, but it's that spiritual. I'm scared because I talk about it a lot, and I do really say this is the way, or not this is, but you know what I mean? This is really truly woke me up. And if it's waking me up, and it's waking him up, and it's waking him up and her up and everything, then obviously it's going to wake them up. And that scares these type of people. That's like, no. We want them watching this over here. We want them doing this over here.
The devil doesn't want the gospel preached. That's what it boils down to.
No,
and there's the natural realm and the spiritual realm. And he'll do everything he can to stop the preaching of the gospel. That's why the apostles were all killed. Paul had his head cut off. Peter was crucified. I don't exactly remember what happened.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, like I said, why would you die for a lie? They're probably happy too, because they knew where they were going when they died. I believe I know where I'm going when I die. Can I fully say I'm not afraid of death? I could say it right now because it's not in my face.
Yeah.
But if I have assurance within myself, where I'm going when I die, then no, I don't believe I would be afraid.
If I believe, that's why I think after this has woke a lot of people up, because to me, I'm not afraid to die. We're always afraid of how, right? We don't want to get, burned in a fire and stuff. So we're always afraid of how.
We say that now because it's not in our face.
Right.
But I, as a human, I can be afraid of the unknown. And death,
100%.
death to me used to be unknown, but now I believe I'm convinced of where I'm going.
Yeah.
You know, I believe it is known, even though I can't see it, but the Bible again says faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen.
Right. Yeah. But how he went and how that happened.
Yeah, no, that was a little bit.
Was.
Because he got sniped right in the
Right. But then it was like one of those where I went to myself, I go, as soon as it happened.
I always thought, why? Like, why?
And I said, there's no way he's just going into the ground. I know this. Yeah. After that happened, I've always believed that we just don't go into the ground. Okay. I've always believed that. Do. Right. But I'm just saying, as our souls or whatever, we don't go into the ground.
No.
I've always believed that. But check this. Ever since Charlie Kirk, I believe it. As soon as it happened, I saw him fall and whatever, I went like this, he ain't going straight to the ground. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I know where he's going right now.
Yeah.
I know where he's going. And I don't care what anybody says, even on that. I don't care what anybody says. I fully believe that. There's no way whoever did it, doesn't matter who did it or what does matter, but whoever fucking did it and wanted to take him out for that reason, I know that he went for a good reason, or wherever he went for a good reason, and that's going to change the world. It shook the fucking whole world, man.
Yeah.
You know, and whether you're a believer or not, as you said, it's, you know, it's going to shake you up. It's going to make you, you know, think another way. I'm hoping it did. I'm really hoping it actually fully made people wake up, because, you know, and stuff like this, you know, talking about stuff like this, but
100%.
You know, it's always good to, we got a good 50 minutes in.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
That is a good one. Yeah, I mean, just, you know, I'm hoping you guys can take something from this and welcome Phil and, you know, and hopefully, you know, share this stuff out, y'all. Put it on your page, share it with your friend. You don't even have to put it on your page. Just put it in their inbox or something. Email it to somebody. Like, find a way to like share it with somebody, watch it with your friend, or, you know, you may not, you know, follow what we're saying or he's saying, but your friend or your mom or your dad may next to you, and you never know. So whoever is listening, thank you. Whoever made it this far, you're fucking crazy. I always say that, you're crazy.
Do you care if I pray before?
No, go for it, man.
Before we close out?
No, 100%, man.
Okay. Father, I just thank you for today. I thank you for Kevin. Thank you for his heart, for reaching, you know, out with his sobriety, his you know, his message, his life. And Father, I just thank you for the opportunity for me to be able to come on here. And God, I just ask by the power of your Spirit that this message go out. I pray that people even get saved from it. I pray that people want to dive into the Bible. They want to dive in, find out who Jesus is, find out their purpose for living, to know that they can be forgiven of their sin, that they can have a purpose for being alive. You know, and I just thank you for that. I just pray your blessing upon this podcast, whoever reads it. I just pray it would spread like wildfire, Lord, because you're God, that you love multiplication. And I just thank you for that in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, man. Yeah, man. I'm sure it'd be, well, I mean, I should have been like, hey, does anybody want to do it with us? But I'm sure anybody catches on to that, then it'd be great to, so please, again, share this. I thank you guys so much. Whoever's listening, again, I thank you. And again, I call you crazy because you've listened this far. You just listen to me rant, or you listen to people talk, and I appreciate that.
I'm definitely going to watch the whole thing.
So, yeah, I'm definitely going to watch the whole thing. But yeah, so much love to everybody. Yeah. And thank you to Phil. Thank you for praying, man. I appreciate you very much, man. I honestly appreciate you coming on. I really hope this, 100%. Pushes out to like something.
Yeah, man.
And, you know, and again, much love to everybody, and keep that head up. Keep smiling. Peace out.
Peace out.
Thanks, man. Hell yeah, bro.
That was deadly.
Yeah, bro. Like that was
awesome.
I like that, man.